entered is like another major landmark in that area of Tokyo, and you probably saw this tall building said 106. It's actually the 109 building in real Tokyo, and it's a sort of a fashion center. And now we're going inside it, and one thing that's really cool is we'll see that in this altered version of that building, you're still going to see the traces of the fashion that exists in the real world version of it.
And don't worry, we're not ignoring the giant maid costume. We're going to get to that. But first, we're going to get a quick introduction to some of the Fire Emblem characters within this world. So the Fire Emblem characters, when they show up here, they're not the Fire Emblem characters that we know. They are from the Idolosphere, and they have no memory of who they are. But not everybody in the Idolosphere is sinister or evil. But you can see, like, this is Chrom, but he's got such a different cast to him. He's like a dark, kind of, like, you know.
He looks amazing.
Yeah.
Dark awesomeness, I think is what you mean to say.
I'm really excited, too, to see potential cosplays coming out of this, because I feel like there's so many different choices, and I know people are going to jump on that.
The costume design in this game is amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So we've now had the Fire Emblem characters. They're on our side at this point because we have given them our Performa, and that has kind of awakened within their desire to help us. And you can see that manifesting. I now have a sword.
Chrom's sword. That's actually Chrom's rapier that he usually starts out with in a lot of Fire Emblem games.
And you can see I'm just going to walk around the dungeon for a little bit. I can see out on the field there's a mirage off in the distance. He's going to notice me, and he's going to charge me. So thanks to Chrom's help, I might be able to stun him and stop him from... Oh, all right, he's coming. I'm going to hit a menu button instead. I feel like that's the right choice.
Don't panic, bitch.
There's a panic button. I didn't get the sword out in time because of my panic. We'll do that in a second.
You can slash them, though, which we'll see.
So we're going cold into this battle now, and we're going to show off a little bit of the way in which the battle system operates. What I love about what's happening here on the screen right now is you've seen Chrom in his Mirage form, and you've seen Itsuki, and they now have taken on a more familiar form of Chrom. It's sort of Itsuki as Chrom.
With super awesome face tattoos.
Yeah, and it's no longer quite as sinister as it seemed before. This is a good chance for Mr. Takata to talk a little bit about the combat system, because we have elements of Fire Emblem's weapons triangle at play here, but we also have the Shin Megami system weakness, or Shin Megami Tensei weakness system in play here as well.
ご存知のようにファイアーエンブレムって3組というのがあると思うんですが、それとは別にですね、アトラスの作る RPG のバトルシーンって基本的にその敵の弱点をつくことでよりバトルが有利に展開するっていうのがあるんですよ。でそれとその3組っていうのは非常に相性がいいので、ぜひそのスキルとか使ってですね、戦ってみてほしいなと思います。
So, as you guys know, what's famous about the Fire Emblem's combat system is the idea of the weapons pyramid and the relationship between weapons. And for the games that Atlas makes, generally there's a focus on finding, whether they're demons or whatever you're fighting, finding their weaknesses and taking advantage of them. So we thought during the development cycle that these systems go really well together, the idea of finding weaknesses and taking advantage of them. So for people who pick up this game and play it, I'd really like you guys to look forward to seeing what weaknesses you can find and how taking advantage of them will, reward you.
Now, I've done this just as a very basic attack. I didn't do anything fancy right here, but we're going to get into some of the fancier and unique elements of this game. How cool, I leveled up. I can't hear it in here because of how crazy the E3 volume is, but
E3 2015.
There's like a really awesome musical nod to Fire Emblem going on during the level up. Just another way in which the Fire Emblem series is represented here. So I'm going to jump back into some more battles, and maybe this time I'll actually be able to stun someone. We'll see if this works out.
No,
all right.
You were
I'm good.
earlier.
I just got to find somebody to beat up.
I so badly want you to go over to that maybe.
So I've used Chrom's rapier to stun him, and then I'm going to go up and start a battle with him, and I have an advantage now.
Yeah, that's a cool little aspect that people can play with.
Oh, Kane's intro with Toma is fantastic.
Toma's here.
Awesome.
He's ready to...
So
Toma
good.
has arrived.
He is majestic. So So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit into the session attack system. That's the big feature for this game. When I trigger a session attack, you'll see like there's a little exclamation point on characters that are weak against whatever attack I've got selected. I'll just start with a basic slash here. When I select the slash, I'll be starting. I don't see other characters queued up for my session attack just yet. But on the left-hand side, you would see other people who are going to join into a session attack. I'm not sure I'll get one this time. But now I'm going to trigger a session attack and try to get a combo going.
Okay, and you've got that green exclamation point showing up on the enemy.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to go for. And now you can see where I had just one character before, I've got 3 characters who are all going to jump into this attack with me.
They
also,
look really
check out
excited
Chrom
about
and
it.
Itsuki and Tsubasa in the background.
Yeah,
Their
they
little
look so
background banner art
excited.
is
They're
so cool. All right, so like while we're here, since you pointed that out, it's a good chance to talk about like this whole battlefield looks like a stage.
Yeah.
There's like a laser light show going on. I don't know who the audience is. Maybe Mirages are out there like watching us like go to it.
I like to think it's the Mirages.
They're here for the show. And also like all of the attacks on the bottom of the screen there, like they pop up like singles. Like you've got the name of the song and then the artist performing the attack. So I love like every bit about this has this beautiful music vibe to it.
Here we go.
Like there's a scrolling banner in the background. Got one more session.
So that was Itsuki and Tsubasa combining for a session attack, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to see if I can get another session attack.
I really like the fusion of the Shin Megami and Fire Emblem elements in the battle too. It adds an extra layer of coordination and strategy really to the game.
Oh, that was serious overkill.
It was.
Yeah, so a lot of this game, we can see the weaknesses because this is a played-up save. This is a little bit deeper into the game, but I don't think it's going to be like that all the time. You're going to have to learn the weaknesses before they'll start showing up on screen. So you have to interact with an enemy and figure out how to fight them as you're going.
I love that character artwork you get to see after each battle. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I feel like this game itself they really put a lot of thought and effort into designing everything. Every little detail they've added it in and all the nods to the fans. It's really cool.
So you just opened a floating treasure chest there.
All right, so I'm going to start showing off the gimmick for this particular dungeon.
Yes, it's
the
time.
Giant Maid. The time has come for the Giant Maid.
So, Mr. Takata, would you like to talk a little bit about the gimmick for this dungeon and the way dungeons operate in this title?
このダンジョンのギミックについてコメントはありますか？
ここは渋谷で有名なファッションビルなんですよ。なのでこういう巨大なマネキンがいたりっていうような現実のそのある世界をモチーフにしたダンジョンになってます。で他にもいろんなダンジョンがあってそれぞれ工夫を凝らしたギミックがあるので楽しんでもらえたらいいなと思います。
So he's saying that this particular dungeon is based on a real-world location in Japan, which is well known for fashion, which is the 109 building or the Maru Q building in Shibuya. So the gimmicks or the puzzles that you'll see in this game are also based on fashion. However, there are lots of other dungeons in this game that are based on real-world locations that all have different gimmicks themselves. So everybody, please, look forward to getting your hands on those.
Yeah. So I've reached the end of where I can explore right now. I was able to reach this part of it by clambering through the maid costume so that I could reach this side of the room. For me to get deeper into the dungeon, I'm going to need to navigate my way, through the different floors of the building.
Right.
I walk over here and I see these mannequins on display. Yep. There's a spotlight on one of them, and by no small coincidence, the arms are in a pose that's very similar to the giant maid.
Right.
It gives me a little bit of a hint of what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah.
I also can check in with this friendly Mirage right here and see what he's got to say.
Floaty creatures, water.
And I really like that inclusion of some puzzle-solving elements in dungeons. Give you something extra to do while also fighting battles.
I'm gonna go over here and interact with the display. I'll switch it to, we'll just start with the second one. Switch the highlight. The arms are moving it out. Probably not the right choice because I've got the arms in the wrong position.
I would love to install something like this in my house, but I don't think it would fit.
It was fun to watch her.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down to the third option now and get it back to a position where I can actually crawl through her limbs. There we go.
I'm really anxious. Like, what's in there? What is living in there?
Pigeons.
Are there pigeons? Yeah.
So I'm going up to, I think I'm on the third floor now.
Okay.
And I try to navigate my way around here.
Right.
I see that I've got another opportunity here to change the pose of the mannequin. I've also got some more mirages, and I'm gonna play with them a little bit too, because there we go.
Nice.
And the cool thing about that too is that you can hit them, and then if you don't want to battle them, you don't have to. You can move past them while they're stunned.
Yeah, I haven't shown off that part of the system yet, but if you knock them down, they will just fade away after a little bit. So I don't need to jump right into a combat if I'm not ready.
Okay, so these are different enemies this time.
No, I love the two knights, sort of the centaurish looking guys on either side. They're like half motorcycle, half horse, half jousting dude.
You need a horse.
Whoever that small girl was in the middle, you took her down pretty quickly.
I know.
She didn't have we didn't have a
took her
chance
out
to talk
too.
about her.
Like, we're just gonna kill you now. I guess.
Really taking advantage of the sets and attacks because I want to show off a bunch of these here. Plus, they're a great way to make short work of the enemies.
I love his attitude.
I know, Toma as Kane is great. So, we talked about, Tsubasa wants to be a singer. I'll see if, no special weaknesses right now, I'll just do this. Toma wants to be an actor, but he still has Performa within him. You know, it's all of these creative arts that provide people with Performa.
Right.
So you have, among all of your friends, you have all of these different talents, all these different people that come along to join you. And it's more than just, like, dealing with the idolosphere and fighting your way against these enemies. You're also kind of navigating the entertainment industry after a fashion. Maybe Mr. Takaru would like to talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a really interesting part of this game.
今までコンバットについてお話ししましたけれども、コンバットだけじゃなくてその他にこう芸能界のキャラと芸能界との関係についてこのストーリーもそれについての描写がありますけれども、それについて。
そうですね、メインストーリーがロープレイなんであるんですけれども、それ以外に各キャラクターごとにサイドストーリーっていう任意で選べるお話があるんですよ。それはそれぞれのキャラクターたちが芸能界でサクセスしていくためのお話なんですけれども、主人公がそれをサポートしてあげることで、彼らの成功していくドラマを楽しむだけでなく、ちょっとバトルとか育成でいいことがあったりするっていうのはありますね。
So, as you know, there's a main story to this game, which, I mean, is common sense, but there's also a side story for each of the characters that you'll meet along the way, too. And each character has a relationship with the Japanese entertainment world. Like, for example, you see Toma, who's trying to be an actor, or you see Tsubasa, who's trying to be a Japanese singer. And so the main character, Itsuki, basically improves his relationship with these characters and helps them realize their dreams, and each of these characters has a side story as well about realizing, you know, their dreams within the entertainment world.
Nice.
Now we're going to switch to another section of the game in just a few minutes. I want to show off a little bit more combat and also show off some of the all right,
Anteater.
these giant
Muscle creatures.
So Anteater Trolls, yeah?
It looks like they're called trolls, so don't get trolled. Sorry.
You're not sorry.
They look tough though, but
I just noticed, like, not only is there the banner saying Shibuya 106 in the background, but there's also I'll go for this one. There's also like mannequins. There's like a screen of like mannequins up in the background.
Yeah, I know there's so much to notice in these battles that
it's just
you'll still be
visual
seeing
detail,
new things
yeah.
after you've played lots of them.
I like that we get confetti at the end too.
Yeah.
Confetti's always nice.
I need more confetti in my victories. So this is an area that I'm not going to be able to get into just yet. We're only showing you a little bit of how the main dungeon flow operates, but there's a lot of areas that you can go back to and revisit later on. So it's not just like the core experience of the dungeon, but there's also some replay where you're going to have to go back and revisit them and explore